begin whenever you're ready.
Have you taken the SAT or the ACT yet? If you do well, you will possibly receive scholarship and be on your way to college. If you fail, you will probably not receive a scholarship and you may not even be able to enter college. So it costs more. Standardized tests are standard. Students who take the ACT and other standardized tests are tested over many different subjects, and much time and thought goes into creating standardized tests, but they are not always accurate. Standardized tests are not fair and do not accurately test a person's intelligence. Students who take the SAT and ACT are tested over many different subjects. The SAT is made up of 4 different categories: reading, writing and language, math, and an essay section which is optional. For the reading test, a student reads a story or looks at a graph and then is tested over the information. Before the test, a student is not supposed to know what information will be on the test, so they cannot memorize or so they cannot study the facts for that section of the test. The reading test is supposed to determine how much information a student is able to recall. Some students may have a high stress level while taking the SAT and become nervous and unable to remember information, but they may work well in very low stress level environments, so that is the reason it's not accurate. The student will be tested on their skills of correcting mistakes they find in the reading and language portion of the SAT. People from different parts of the United States speak differently, so why should a standard be set for everyone in the United States? Even though there are correct rules for writing and grammar, many people do not agree with them. If all people in a community speak incorrectly according to the rules, why should their children be taught to speak differently than them? The math portion of the SAT is made up of 2 sections. One where a student can use a calculator and one where a student cannot use a calculator. Outside of the test, when the person solves math problems, they might always have a calculator to use, and they might never have a calculator to use. A person who always uses a calculator might be able to solve problems more accurately and efficiently than someone who tries to solve problems without a calculator. Since a person is graded on problems using a calculator and without the use of a calculator, why should a person who can solve problems on the no calculator portion of the math section be graded the same as someone who needs a calculator? If someone who plans to attend college and work in a career that does not involve math, why should they be tested on their math skills? The last section of SAT, the essay section, is optional. The test taker has 50 minutes to write their essay. The test taker reads a passage. The test taker then writes an essay explaining how the article persuades people to think a certain way. All this information about the SAT I got from the College Board website. College Board is a non-profit organization formed to prepare students to take the SAT. College Board is a reliable source and gives much advice for studying and taking the test. Surveys show that standardized tests do not positively affect students' learning. This fact came from the article Effects of Standardized Testing on Teachers and Learning, Another Look. This article was written by Joanne L. Herman. It's a reliable source because in her past, Joanne Herman was a teacher, school board member, and author, but now she serves as Director of University California, Los Angeles National Center for Evaluation Standards and Student Testing. Much time and thought goes into creating standardized tests. Some tests are created in as long as 3 years. Test questions are examined to make sure they are accurate. Humans from every generation have believed false facts. So, why should all students be taught the same information when some of it must be incorrect? Different tests are created for different grade levels. Different schools may teach different skills at different grade levels. Students who attend certain schools may have an advantage over students from other schools that teach different information at different times. Tests are created to meet each state's standards. Local teachers must approve tests before they are finalized. Teachers teach based on what is on the test. Students may need to be taught more information than what is on the test and what they're tested over. Students could spend too much time preparing to take a test rather than learning new knowledge. This is a packet that talks about taking this ACT and strategies for taking it. Students are tested over a wide range of knowledge. All this information about how standardized tests are created came from the Pearson website. This is a reliable source because Pearson is a company that creates standardized tests. Standardized test questions are sometimes poorly worded or pointless. Holbrook, a poet, could not answer questions about her own poem on a standardized test. The poem that she was being tested over was a real case. The test makers used Holbrook's, what she called her most neurotic poem. This is an inaccurate source because Holbrook is the author of the poem. Much time and thought goes into creating standardized tests, and their standardized tests test a student over many different areas. Standardized tests are not fair or not an accurate way of testing a student's intelligence. Standardized tests should be abolished.
Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you, Jen.